3.12, the Chancellor's reports. Chancellor Jackson.
Thank you very much, Board President, and thank to all of the comments. I was taking notes. And before I turn it over to the presidents for their report, I would like to say that I've been verifying some of the numbers, and I cannot say this enough, strongly encourage, if you cannot be part of the hybrid, but at least to listen in on April the 21st, we will have what we're calling an Enrollment Academy. And hopefully we will be able to dispel some of the myths that are out there and provide some clarity on the data and the methodology with which we went forward with our class cancellations this year. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the presidents for a brief update, and we will go alphabetically. So we will start with BCC, and then College of Alameda, and then Laney College, and finally with Merritt College.
Good evening, Vice President Delphine Polk, trustees, colleagues, and community members. In addition to the Berkeley City College report that you have in your board packet, I just want to highlight two things. The first is acknowledge and thank John Nguyen, Veronica Montoya, and actually Trustee Delphine Polk for the career fair last week that we had at BCC. Highly engaging. We had a phenomenal speaker. It was a vibrant campus. It was hybrid model, and certainly I think had the opportunity to connect students to employers. So thank you very much, Trustee Delphine Polk, for joining us. The other is that we have commencement that's coming up in May. So we're very excited. This is still another year where we have a hybrid environment for commencement. I know that some official invitations should be coming to each and every one of you shortly, but I just want to highlight that for Berkeley City College, our virtual YouTube live commencement will take place on Thursday, May 26th at 6 p.m. Very grateful to my colleague here, President Johnson, and the community at Merritt College, because on Friday, May 27th, from 3 to 5 p.m., Berkeley City College graduates will actually celebrate at the Merritt College campus. So we're going to be outdoors. We're going to be enjoying the beautiful views that Merritt College students get to enjoy on the daily, and we're really grateful for your hospitality for our students to join. There's going to be food, music, celebration, opportunity for students to take photos and receive diploma covers, but it truly is a celebration. So if you are able to join, we certainly welcome the community and any and all to join us. And just in closing, we do have Black Student Success Week, the third annual one in the state that's taking place next week. I'm very proud to have Andrea Williams, our Transfer Center coordinator, is going to be one of the panelists during next week's series. Great work that's happening across the district, certainly, and we feel honored to be included in that, knowing that on Monday, the kickoff is actually Secretary of Education Cardona is going to be kicking off Black Student Success Week. So hope that you all are able to attend. That concludes my report for Berkeley City College. Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you very much for the reminder. I appreciate that. So good evening, Vice President Polk, trustees, Chancellor Jackson, colleagues, and guests. I'm pleased to provide the report for College of Alameda this evening. I'd like to start by indicating that the College of Alameda sponsored or co-sponsored the Alameda State of the City event on April the 7th aboard the U.S. Hornet. The event featured the keynote presentation by City Mayor Marilyn Ashcroft, who was there with other dignitaries and city staff making presentation regarding the future and challenges and priorities of the city. I was pleased to be joined at this event by Trustee Withrow, as well as Chancellor Jackson, among other representatives of the College of Alameda community. It's important to note that this was an event that was sponsored by the Alameda Chamber of Commerce and Economic Alliance, an organization that both Trustee Woodrow and I are members. So I thank both the Chancellor as well as Trustee Woodrow for joining me at that event. So I appreciate your being there. And it was a pleasure again meeting you in person. Additionally, the College of Alameda is participating in the annual City of Alameda Spring Festival and Community Expo on April the 16th. COA will have a booth at the fun, family-oriented event where we will provide information about the college and engage in activities for prospective students and their families. Two other points that I would like to make, and one is the College of Alameda Aviation Maintenance Technology Program, in collaboration with the Fab Lab, recently collaborated on AMT 76 blade pitch propeller project to create an experiential learning opportunity for students by turning an aerodynamic design challenge into an engaging interactive classroom experience. AMT professor, Professor Pettyjohn, students had the opportunity to engage in designing and building and testing propeller to better understand their concepts through this unique experiential learning opportunity. The students reported that because of this experience, their level of understanding was enhanced. I would also like to congratulate English for Speakers of Other Language instructor, Didem Ikiche, for her publication of a new book entitled Person-to-Person Peace Building, Intercultural Communication, and English Language Teaching. Dr. Ikiche wrote the book with her co-authors, Amy Jo Minette and Sarah Dietrich. The book maps the discursive terrain of potential person-to-person peace building as it intersects with intercultural communication and online language teaching. I applaud Dr. Ikiche and her co-authors on their outstanding scholarship. Lastly, College of Alameda has continued its creative support for advancing student success through programs and technology adoption. Here's a few recent examples. We implemented the Connex Ed case management scheduling and communication software. It allows, this software system allows students to be connected with counselors in a more timely and more efficient way. It allows for the creation of alerts, and it also integrates with Canvas and PeopleSoft. On the 13th, we launched a Wellness Day, a variety of stress-reducing activities, including healthy lunch, a DJ, yoga session, therapy dogs, among other things, are going to be featured tomorrow. Additionally, we are doing a financial aid fair in which we'll be providing information about beneficial information about financial aid processes that will allow students to understand how to access these essential resources. That ends my report for this evening. Thank you for your attention.
Good evening, Chancellor Jackson, Vice President Delphine Polk, members of the governing board, colleagues in education, valued community members, and of course, our students. Within my board report tonight, you have some details about some great work we've been doing with campus tours, a fellowship that's been bestowed to our biomanufacturing program, as well as kind of a digest of a great innovative event, which was our hackathon that our student body vice president told you about at the last meeting. But in addition to that, I would like to share some other exciting news at Laney College. Our quad is a great place where a lot of things happen, and tomorrow is no exception. From 12 to 2 p.m., We will be having the Wellness Self-Care Fair, where student resources that include healthcare, general healthcare, dental care, mental health, pharmacy care, insurance assistance, and then substance abuse care will all be made available to our students. I would like to thank, in addition to our nurse at Laney College, Indra Tadani, I would also like to thank La Clínica de la Raza and the Roots Community Health Center for their collaboration with this. Also, I'm very excited to announce that Laney College is restoring our communities program, which helps system impacted students, was the recipient of from the State Chancellor's Office of a 3-year grant of $166,000 per year, with an option at the end of the 3rd year to continue the funding to support the program and those students. Really, with our ROC staff, if it's Vincent Garrett or many colleagues, I also want to thank, though, the faculty coordinator, Roger Chung, as well as Associate Dean Gary Albury. Something I said actually in a meeting earlier today, grants and things like this don't happen without the above and beyond that employees put in, and this is certainly the case this time. I'd like to close my report tonight by also sharing with you some details about graduation for Laney College. It will be May 27th, both the virtual and in-person elements. The in-person will take place in the Fieldhouse parking lot, and it'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and will include photo opportunities, students receiving degree covers, graduate gifts, as well as food and festivities. And then once that is done, those who were there or those who couldn't be there can go ahead and tune into YouTube at 3 p.m. for the virtual ceremony, which will include congratulatory speeches, as well as graduate slides that will be made available from the in-person event via YouTube. And with that, I'll conclude my report for this evening.
Good evening, everyone. President Delphine Polk, feels good to say that. Trustees, Chancellor, community members, and colleagues. I'll start by talking about Merritt's graduation festivities. On Thursday, May 26th, we're going to hold our virtual commencement ceremony. The start time to that is still to be determined, and it's going to be hosted in real time, but the ceremony will be broadcast on the PCTV YouTube page. So that's the virtual ceremony. The day before, we're switching it up a little bit. On the day before, Wednesday, May 25th, we are hosting the in-person graduation party. And that's going to be in Lot B that President Garcia mentioned with the billion-dollar views. We're gonna have food, music, pictures, videos, giveaways for all of our graduating students. So we invite everyone to show up to that. Next, while the final figures are not yet available for the 21-22 academic year, I want to share some encouraging news, especially given some of the discourse this evening. Some encouraging news around enrollment data. So in working with our Director of Research, Nathan Pellegrin, we were able to glean some information. And the evidence shows that despite the many difficulties that were caused by COVID-19, several of our programs at Merritt College experienced significant growth during the pandemic. Enrollment in our physics department increased by 50%. The number of students in our environmental science and fire science courses grew by 57% in each of those areas. And the enrollment in our economics classes swelled by 71%. Now, there were 3 areas whose growth was even more prodigious in the respect of health professions and occupations, 98% increase. Library information studies, enrollment increased by 173%. And our educational technology program, an amazing 251% increase in enrollment. So I think as these figures demonstrate, it's absolutely possible to attract new students to programs despite the challenges of the pandemic. In closing, I want everyone to know, and you're all invited, April 27th, save the date, we're going to be hosting our classified employee appreciation barbecue. And that's up at the we're calling it the Landscape Horticulture Gardens. That's where that, near the old the Land Hort building. April 27th, 11 o'clock. And I just got to say that at Merritt College, we're very fortunate to have the professional classified staff members that we do. And this event is really meant to convey our gratitude. And while everyone's wonderful, one individual who I think represents the dedication, resourcefulness, and compassion of our classified professionals is Miss Denise Woodward. So I'd just like to say a couple of words about Denise. Her dean, Chris Foster, I think described her best when she said that Denise shows a sincere interest in the student, staff, and faculty that she works with. And because of this, she's a great listener, powerful speaker, and a talented and skilled staff assistant. On a bit of a personal note, I have to add that a few years ago, Ms. Woodward was exceedingly patient and long-suffering, dealing with a new administrator at Merritt who was trying to find his way. So I owe a debt to her. So thank you, Denise, and all the other classified professional staff members that we have for doing what you do. We appreciate your service and dedication to the college. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, President. I do have another good bit of news, so thank you for starting that, Dr. Johnson. The presidents and I put together a letter of interest to the Institutional Effectiveness Partnership Program known as IEPI, and they provide funding up to $200,000 for new initiatives to improve institutional effectiveness. We collaborated and put forward a plan to provide a district-wide training center, something we've been talking about since the fall semester. And it would be a joint collaborative with the colleges and also with our colleagues, both our students, our classified professionals, and our faculty. So pulling in the professional development and learning center, and that was going to be the name PLDC or PDLC. It's getting late, so I'm getting a little dyslexic. But I just want to thank the presidents, and I want to thank those colleagues who provided that input for that during my listening sessions in the fall. Especially our classified professionals who indicated that we don't really have a lot of things for onboarding. We don't have consistent training, established standards. And as we move forward with implementing PeopleSoft 9.2, we want to make sure that we don't lose that momentum and we train the trainers and then move forward with continued professional development. So this will help us launch that. We're looking forward to that this summer so they can become active in the fall semester. So that concludes our briefings, and thank you very much.
Thank you all. Let's go ahead and move to presentations. 4.1 Merritt College Athletic Department.